Hello and welcome to another episode of the Heavenly Tea. I'm so excited because Efisia Lupino, who is quite an amazing woman, I'm going to tell you a little bit how amazing she is. You might start blushing, but maybe not. Efisia is now the second guest on the Heavenly Tea, which is just chats with extraordinary people, dotted all around the world, in fact, about everyday things. But we're talking about these everyday things in a way that can empower us. Most of these chats seem to all be about finding the source of your true power, your true human nature in our everyday moment to moment, which I believe can be very useful in these times. So Efisia, what a background. I can't even go into half of it because I probably don't know half of it. But if you want to go and look into your soul essence and uncover all its secrets, find out why you're feeling one way and not another way, find out why you're thinking one way, not another way. Efisia is sort of like a soul doctor. She's trained in a lot of different methods. One of them is a kind of regressive hypnosis system. You could call it kind of quantum healing, whatever. What she does is she goes into your spirit energy, your soul essence, and finds information and works with you on that basis. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, I think you just express your right words. Yeah, I'm still in progress in everything because we never stop. Okay, you finish one method, you learn another, and you create your own. But it's so far, basically, yeah, it's funny to feel like a doctor, but yes, I'm more like like what we call now spiritual healers.
Or it's like a spiritual scientist, because we've got such a bad word now for doctors these days and a bad word for science because of what we've been through in the last few years. But in the true essence, you're a detective, aren't you? You're discovering things, and that's what a healer is doing. You're empowering the other person to
explore it. Yeah. I always, after years and years or exploring everything that intrigued me, because for years I didn't know what I wanted to do, what was wrong with me, which this word is not quite correct. But when you are confused and you are basically surrounded by toxic environments, toxic people, you're starting to believe in toxic things, like politics, religion, and I mean, with all respect of the people that they believe in the religious, is not. I come from a very religious not very religious, actually, it's a mistake, but for a Christian family, which my mother says always, yes, respect, but she never was a follower, but she is the one that she doesn't like to talk bad about the Christianity or but I never felt really, interested ever. And at some point I thought there was something wrong with me because I didn't feel the call. I was always yearning at the church, everybody and I was like, oh, can I go out to play? Since I was a little girl. And then with the years, with my obviously personal experience, I grew and still was always something missing. Always.
So we make the theme of this chat. And I'm holding my teacup because the idea is that this is a kind of relaxed, fun, even though we're looking at quite serious stuff, we're trying to bring it into a place that you can digest. So hence the cups of tea or whatever you want to drink. But what about bringing in the conversation of, it's not what do you do when you feel wrong, but how do you how do you cope with life?
I was just explain to me what I was doing.
Well,
I mean,
that's so
in general.
I think that brings up a really brilliant. So this is the topic I want to see if we can go.
Yeah, what is wrong with us? When we say what is wrong?
No, not what is wrong with us. That's not what I want to say. This, just hang on a moment. Let me bring it in. Okay. So I'm just trying to phrase it correctly. So what do you do when someone or other people or many people believe there's something wrong with you, but you just know that's you, it's your soul essence, your spirit? How do we deal with that? So I'm just going to give an example because I think we can run with this topic. So a friend of mine today who is she's a special needs teacher. And we were in a classroom she's not normally in, I'm not normally in. We were in there and she said, something doesn't feel right here. You know, it just doesn't feel right. And we knew it was used to be a stable, that building, that room. And she said, yeah, I can feel it's, the animals weren't looked after well. It's just, there's a heavy energy. Now, she's very sensitive, very aware. And the question is, how on earth can she bring that up with the school and bring it into a conversation and get something done? So this is the kind of thing, you know, if you say, I can see an angel or whatever, you know, angels are another interesting subject in themselves, aren't they? But let's just say, as a little child, you could see energy and you could feel truth. And everyone said, no, you're wrong. Of course not, you can't. Go to the church. They know what truth is. So it's this thing of when you know something, when you can feel something, and the world is saying, no, you can't. No, you don't. What you're saying is rubbish. That's the topic I'd like to bring up with you.
Okay, all right. So I was a bit expired. I was trying to do the presentation, but yes, I get now what you want. We're going go to the point straight away.
Because we're not even going to go to the point. We'll be finding all these wonderful stories that you have yourself.
Because it's a bit complex. It's a bit complex what you say. Because first, I would like to explain, if you allowed me, that when people says that you say something wrong, especially if it's an individual, I mean, not the world, because the world depends. What is the message? If you are a person with a lot of followers, you are very a public person that has a million people that they can see and hear you. Okay, but if we have a conversation with somebody that he thinks that know better or has experience and says, okay, Efisia, I think you're wrong. Before, all the Efisia probably stand up. I really stand up with my opinion, says, why you say you're wrong? And probably ended up a little bit of with a conflictual conversation, no more about opinions, etc., etc. Now, with my growth, my understanding, I can feel energetically why the person says I'm wrong, because I can understand if it's his ego that say to me I'm wrong, or because he has his point. But even when a person says you're wrong without, you know, it's like when somebody just give you a sentence, to death. It's like he says, "Oh, you're wrong." It's not like, "Oh, maybe," or "Oh." Yeah, it's like a slap in the face. Then in that case, I says, "Okay, you think I'm wrong. I respect that, but because you think I'm wrong, I think I ended the conversation with you." And I mean, I have something else. Basically, I create like a protection with my opinion, because I don't say, yes, you're right. No, I say, I respect your opinion that you think I'm wrong. I disagree about that, but I think it's nothing to add anymore. I don't want to even waste my time to people like says you're wrong. I don't want to even get upset or argue or spend the time to explain to that person why I'm not wrong, because it gives me a slap, like you says, yeah.
Yeah, like so a in your face, isn't it?
So people they do that. They're not very open mind. Obviously, there's something about them that they want they be domineering. Okay, so dominating the conversation. I'm right, you're wrong. That is no point, okay? It's not open. His mind is very close. So he's not happy person. I can tell you straight away, he's not a happy person. As anger management possible when a people says you're wrong, okay? But sometimes it can be even people, they can say this word even because they are defensive, okay, in a conversation. So people that they are very open mind, they first want to know,
why? Why do you think I'm wrong?
Why you think like that? Because they need to understand how it works, your theory or your opinion or whatever it is about the discussion. Okay, so this is why I for me, basically to cut off short, I cut off straight away. I says, I disagree with you, but I respect your opinion. So it's like basically I say, take all your negative energy out from me. I protected myself, and because many other people, which not necessarily agree with my opinion, they have a different view, but still are intelligent and constructive, open to understand what you want to say. And then, because confrontation is the people intelligent, because means intelligence, they understand why, and you create definitely an intelligent conversation that person, it can see his point of view. I can see his point of view, and I say, yeah, you know what? That makes sense. But with my ideas, his ideas, then we can create then the intelligence of the conversations,
then you get
because
level of co-creation, don't you? But okay, so I'm going to throw a little spanner in the works, as they say. So I'll just use the example of what I went through recently. I was moving house. I made a very detailed contract with my removal company, and they were supposed to provide X number of men and X number of lorries. Okay, on the day, they didn't. And they were short by 1 lorry and short by 2 men. So they only moved half my stuff by the evening. Okay. And I said, okay, well, this isn't good enough. And they'd subcontracted to 2 other people. So actually, no one knew what I'd originally agreed to. And these other subcontractors both disagreed with me because they didn't know what the original agreement was. And I had to say very quietly, very clearly, no, because I had paid money and I need to move my stuff. So take an example like that, where naturally you or I, once we've had the door slammed in our face with that, no, you're wrong, we would just generally just quietly walk away and say, fine, leave them to theirs. But what about a situation where you have to keep interacting with that person? Do you think there's any possibility of morphing or shifting or changing that?
In this case, you paid. Obviously, there is a contract. I don't think it was only was just agreement by word. You pay these people, yes. So this is legal. So this is not even again says. Are you think that okay? I think that you are not the right person to discuss the matter, because I paid. I have here, so I have to speak with somebody above of you. So in a way, you shut down that person, because if it's arrogant, or if you just say because they try all the time, to, especially if you have deliveries. I'm talking about, because accidents can happen. So the gentleman should say, look, we was short of staff. He can say anything. We had an accident. We have anything, but we can provide. This is a good businessman or a trader, whatever. Okay, so in this case, this guy's the logistic. And if he carry on to insist, you have to stop, because your energy is precious. You want to win. You won't suck your energy, Isabel. I know you're right. He was wrong. But when a person that knows that you are a client, a customer, and say that you are a liar, that is no good at all.
Shall I tell you what?
For his business.
I tell you what happened in the end. Okay, so he actually suggested, because I was just really calm, because I just was not going to be messed around anymore by anybody, because I've had so many years of that. Like you said, your older physio is like, my old Isabel.
Yeah, sure. I will be like, ooh, boxing.
So it was like, no. And I kind of channeled my lawyer daughter a little bit too. So this guy finally, because I even said to him, he said, I'm going to call you back in an hour when the blokes who helped you today, when they've gone, I'm going to call you back. And I said to him, and I know what you're going to do. You now know that I'll be a female on my own in the evening, helpless, wanting to have my stuff moved, and you're going to bully me into paying you more money. I said that to him. And he said, no. And I had it on speaker so that the 2 guys could hear. So the 2 guys privately afterwards said, we'll help you move tomorrow. In the end, that didn't work, but I got a better removal company in the end. He did call me, and he was shamefaced. I just let him speak because it was all nonsense. But he did say, we'll just cut our losses. You've paid the deposit. You don't need to pay any more. And we'll just say, I don't want to deal with you anymore. So I lost money, but I didn't have to pay the full amount. So that was his apology. And that's because I just stood up for myself and wouldn't let him walk over me. So with that money that I had was going to pay him, I used that to pay another proper removal company 2 days later. So I was actually fine. It cost a little bit more, but not much. But it was because I managed to find just that kind of quiet place. But I just think this is so important because, you know, this whole idea of sovereignty and who are we and can we stand in our power? And it's not just, you know, when we're having a spiritual conversation with someone, it's when we're buying bread or when someone's rude in the supermarket or when someone bashes into your car, you know, any little anything. And so we've got to now be that, put that awareness energy into our every day. And I think it's an interesting topic because I bet, like, you know, we've got stories in our past where we were probably slapped around the place, left, right, and center. And now, what would you say is the difference in you that means that you won't be slapped around anymore? You won't tolerate this.
I mean, I obviously, when I call them the thieves of energy. Okay, this man, he wanted to prevaricate on you. Okay, he wanted to really with his arrogance, which doesn't work like that. That is not, first, is not professionality, doesn't show professionality. Second, you can tell this person is definitely doesn't help this attitude. He has a really bad attitude. Third, you slap him the face back with grace, with elegance. And it's like you says, my energy is money, you do not take away. And when I say energy, it's everything. It can be money, it can be, you know, because you protect your energy field. I mean, I know, so I talk so much about energy field, but everything starts from our energy field. You stand by yourself, but without argue or quarrel with this guy, because he was not at your level. Okay, your frequency, your vibration was too higher for him. If you if you basically he was able to hang you up, you know, to take you, to drag you, your energy level goes down. It's like a vibration. So he won. Okay, you make you angry and you make say things that you probably regret, and then instead to pay the deposit only, can take even more money, because these people, they're very able to twist ways around. So you stand by yourself, and this is it. Another thing, you trusted yourself. You trusted your soul, your spirit, your intuition, that now I don't want to walk away with this. Oh yeah, because they're stronger than that. No.
So how would you say we gain that trust? Because that is so true, what you said. So, you know, I know that's one of the kind of pivotal things you work with, you know, you and Sana and all that. It's that, isn't it? That's that true inner knowing of what you are.
The confidence is because you have a very, very big confidence yourself. And for people with a tip that they feel they're not confident, they think that is to trust the intuition, not using fear, sadness, to try to remove that emotions, trust intuition. And if the intuition basically respond in the opposite way you expect, that means that it's still good. Because obviously, probably there is something that you have to need to understand, or things to turn around to be then the winner. Intuition never wrong. Okay, even when you think, oh, I trust my intuition and then I was wrong. No, because probably intuition wanted you to understand better. You wanted you to understand the people. Many people, even because they don't believe in these things, they don't believe in themselves, they're not confident, so they think they're not intuitive.
So let me tell you a little more. It's fascinating, isn't it, how much juice you can get out of one story. The reason I chose this company and not someone else is because I had a very charming man on the phone, and we talked a little bit about some disclosure things. We talked about the scandemic briefly. We touched on it, and it was like, oh, you're on a similar wavelength, and we laughed about it, etc. So that's why I chose that company, because it was a personal connection. But of course, what happened was, in this weird world that we're living in, where you think you're walking on the surface of the ground and it splits open and you're just actually walking on a stepping stone with molten lava underneath, you know, this utter flow of deception underneath our feet from every side. It turned out that although that chap was charming, he was the father. He was basically retired, and it was his son, his little sharky son, who was running the business. So it was just a deception. The daddy was the cute, flowery, get the nice little client tidbit at the end of the fishing line, which I thought, oh, how nice, a lovely man, of course, but it was just deception. And that's so interesting because it's just, it's a metaphor for everything. You have to just, your discernment, your intuition, active on every little level that we can hold right now.
Yeah, you trusted your intuition because you trust this guy. And then you thought, oh, I was wrong. No, you wasn't, because probably you needed to add more confidence with yourself, and that was a proof that yes, I won in the end of the day. But here it's not about winning or losing. It's about to stand for your right, for yourself, to be your lawyer, to believe that you are powerful, to believe that you are honest, and nobody can poison you. Okay, because you are pure. And people that sometimes we are connected, they are not for their choice, but sometimes they are intoxicated by other people. It's like they link with other situations, but we still have to protect ourselves. It's not to be selfish, but we have to preserve our spirit and soul as much cleaner as possible. And this is day by day. We are living in a jungle of energies, of interferences, that they can be positive and they can be negative. People have a car crash and they meet the love of their life because the nurse was recovering, was curing him. People, they are late to the best interview in their life, and they think they are destroyed. And then something happened to this company. You sometimes we have to don't to be true, but to try to go with the flow, okay, with the frequency, like dolphins. You can't swim opposite. If you starting to believe in you have to swim with your soul and with your spirit. There are three things. We have body, our physical container, and mind. That the mind that is mental, that definitely is basically give life to this container. Then we have the soul that give the light to this container, okay? Because we are eternal. This is the real alien in us that I call all the time. Then we have the spirit, which is the etheric part. Now, I don't want to confuse who hear us, but we have to balance, okay? We can't go against each other. You can't go against the spirit. Soul can go against the spirit because it's like a team, okay? That's when I say we have to swim.
Also, I really like that analogy. When I was just talking about how we are programmed to think that the earth we're walking on is solid, and you think of the church, that's an organization that's solid and everything they say is true and reliable, or the government, true and reliable, and then what we're discovering, of course, is that all of that is completely the opposite. It's just all a load of tosh, right? So all the firm ground that we thought we were walking on, and that's just metaphorically, but it's also energetically, isn't it? We think, even, your discussions with Oksana on this, my feelings of the planet too, we think we're walking on the surface of the planet, but we're not. We're in some layer. And currently the planet is having other layers bubble through of different energy, etc. And there's this sort of battle. So essentially everything in life, if we adopt the swimming like a dolphin, we're swimming through it. That's, I think, maybe this metaphor can be expanded. And it's like, if we can swim, go with the flow. But every moment is a swimming, because actually everything we thought was solid ain't.
Exactly. Yes. Like I says, is when you basically starting to learning every day more and more and more about yourself, and to listen your own insights, a conversation with your inner self. People can call spirit guide. For me, but it's me. I am particular. The spirit guide is always you. Basically, it's your inner self. And it protects you, because the soul is one soul, only one soul in a body of a person. It's so powerful, so complex that people, they can't. This one we say universe. Okay. So this is why we have to trust ourselves. Okay. We basically, what the system does is since you are a child, first is the program of erasement, to make you forget what's happened to you, what you did, because it's possible even to remember where you've been another life. Even people, they says no, but it's not good. I mean, if you ended up a experience with a body, okay, you want to born with another, maybe another family or another group of souls, it's possible to give that message, because we are like, we are DNA, and our soul contains DNA. It's like a database where we can, if we want. But what's happened here? The system erases, since as a child, all this database, okay? Then they will call the downloading the software, yeah, the process to fool yourself with a lot of crap, basically. You're going to study in school things that you don't need to know anymore, okay? Yes, you need to know where you come from. You need to know the history, the sequence about the people, the humans when they started to, when they arrive in the planet, the air, everything. But if you notice, the child are basically filled with just lies.
Yes.
And they say to you, oh, this person, she do esoteric, she's crazy, she's delusional, she believe in UFO, in AE. So what about their gods? They never saw their gods. They even made pictures, they make statues. Nobody saw the face of God.
What about the history books and the geography books and the science books? Yeah, they're all, I mean, my subject, I'll just, for the audience, in case they don't, I teach acting, so that's emotional intelligence and awareness. I teach singing, so that's physical, body and spirit intelligence. And I teach dancing, which is part of the same system. So I work highly with the imagination. And I've got all these little children at the moment I'm working with. And I've almost come to believe and feel and see that my subject is probably the most important lesson they have of the week, because all of the other lovely stuff with the lovely teachers, it's just a load of codswallop. None of that stuff is true. Maybe how to write, that's good. Okay, it's really useful to know how to write. It's kind of useful to know how to add up. But even spelling, that's insanity to make us learn spellings, and then you go to every single subject. And if I looked in a science textbook or a geography one or a history one, or, I would just start pulling my hair out. So I'm in the weird subject, imagination and strange arty stuff. But actually, of course, that's as close you can get to the language of the spirit as you.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking with the conversation. Probably you see the video with the Janine, that she's very smart. She's become a judge, and she put that topic about the example of the language, speaking English, that many words they are contradictive, to confuse, especially when the system use legally, okay, or in a political way, like the word important and then impossible. So you always use this word to confuse the people, and you be careful when you sign a contract or you do deals important is for your life. It's like having basically a contract with the devil. And that they started with the spelling, basically. I mean, I don't think it's wrong, but children, they have to understand the other part of the story, but they teach only one story.
Exactly.
Sometimes absolutely not even a story, because it's just fake. But in terms of science, I don't say that all is wrong, because obviously this is part of our humanity, to be curious, to discover, to be explorer. But when you are unfortunately down, you are part of a government that is on top of you. They can say to you what they want. You have to, if you believe, fine. If you don't believe, shut up, because we can destroy you. So I'm going to say this because the word wrong that you start in the beginning, it comes from the top, for the pyramid. Yeah, the triangle, the big eye in the middle. So this is a word they use to definitely to create, even the word I can feel. I can feel the word. It's heavy.
isn't it?
Like a ball, a crystal ball, yeah?
I mean, the sound,
You,
that is heavy. You have to you go down to your stomach to
yeah, I felt like a ball, crystal, like a crystal. Oh, I love crystals, by the way, but not in this word is very heavy, like iron. And wrong, okay, wrong. We need to be careful the way we use this word because this word can be. It's like a very shape, soft ball, but it can have spikes all
So
around.
if you think of children learning spelling at school, let's just take most of the left-handers with the right brain, the more dominance. Even that's not true. The left brain, right brain paradigm we've learnt, but it's a decent module to use. So most of those who are more open and creative, they have the problems with the spelling. Because they don't have that kind of memory that they remember something 20 different ways instead of always the same way. That's the reptilian brain, isn't it? It's always the same. We can't be creative. So that very thing, instantly you get told that you've got 8 wrong and 2 right. So instantly you think you're stupid and smaller and lesser. Yeah. It's so easy, isn't it? That's a
especially a child is starting to be afraid to talk in front of everybody because they think they mock the child. And I was working with a child recently. She was terrified for her exams. I'm talking a girl of 10 years old. So it's too early to be so afraid. She was really afraid to have a public speech in front of everybody already because they mock her. The children, because the teacher probably says something not nice, and the teacher mock the student, the child, because she didn't do something good. That you don't help a child, you damage a child. We need to really to change the way we teach, but not in this old-fashioned, very obviously it's not easy to be a teacher, because children can be very quickly distracted, they get tired easily. But a child, when he likes a teacher, likes what they're talking about, they listen.
Yeah.
It's like a magic.
I've got this little boy I work with who is really, let's call him difficult. So he's officially labeled difficult. And this boy has so much energy. It's just like, oh my God, all the time. Right.
Yeah.
In a room, and I teach them in a theatre. So little people, small group of little people in a huge theatre. So it's like trying to herd a lot of crickets, I don't know, just to sort of keep them in a place where I can talk to them so we can do our games. And I did this game with them the other day where we had an imaginary pot of something. So just they had to imagine this huge pot. And I started it off and I put my hands in and they had to imagine what I was putting my hands into. Okay. And so the action and the expression on my face as the reaction to what my hands were experiencing, they had to then guess what I was in. And this wild, crazy, mad, fast boy, he got it really quickly and he said, oh, you've put your hands in a bowl of slime. Okay, so he knew it was this deep bowl of slime. And every person, he guessed most of them. And other people were just going, oh, it could be feathers. Maybe it's a bit of fluff, And this boy just got ding, ding, ding. So his energy is labeled wrong. But it's just because the environment isn't right for him.
Exactly.
He's so bright. And when I mentioned it to some people today in the playground, and they were a bit surprised when I said how bright he was, and they said, yeah, well, he's definitely got some ADHD. And I was thinking, yeah, well, it's just because he's fast. This guy's fast. That's why he's disruptive to everyone.
Exactly. Now they are using this word ADHD so many times, and instead to this kind of kids, they are fast. They need space. You know what I mean? But it's not shouldn't be treated like a disease or a sickness or something wrong. They're trying to stop you to be fast, to go to your evolution. Obviously it's not easy because I know that parents, they say, oh gosh, sometimes it's a bit too much. But these children, they need to understand that there's nothing wrong with them, because the word wrong is this is always, the child. But this is not something wrong, but it make you feel that something's wrong with you. And the child need to understand that he is just ahead of the others. That is the real. I don't see there's something wrong with these kids.
Yeah.
Okay, then when the ball, yes, I call ball, heavy ball of this world, the weight of this world is quite starting to be very heavy.
Mm.
And if everybody is starting to weight words that they are on effect on them, in this case is word, wrong is the word, in other words trigger a person, okay? Feel the weight or give a color. If the color is a color that you not really like, that means there is a message of the soul is telling you. Your soul is telling you, look, you have to work on this because there is something here.
So what were you able to give that little girl with her terror of the exams so that she could bounce back and find her
Basically, she was even very, very shy at the beginning. It's a short story, would I like to say. So I have to be more friendly as possible because she was so cute, so sweet. And and my mother, she gave their mother, sometimes I mix, the mother gave the permission even to publish our session, but my son has to blur, obviously, for legal reasons. She's a minor, you know. But yes, she basically, she was very creative. She is, because she likes to write books. She will be a writer. I saw this. I'm a little bit witchy, but I saw her becoming very popular when she's going to be adult. Probably in her teenager, she's going to do already big things. But I find out that she was terrified about to talk, to say things, because then talking with her, making her relax, I put her in a lightly trance. She was able to open up and find out that she was terrified by her brothers, that there was quite a big gap age.
They learn that patriarchal system, don't they? And they bring it home. It happened to me with my brother. I saw him from the brother we loved. My God, we loved him. My two sisters and I. And then he became no, you're wrong, you're wrong. He just brought back the patriarchal program.
Yeah, because the kids apparently are lovely guys, but one is 21 and one has, I think, is 18 or 17. He has Asperger. So, and this girl, imagine she's 10 years old. There is a big gap of age, and instead to protect the little sister because she's the younger, they made fun of her. She was quite very, very high educated girl, and she says, yeah, they say bad things to me. They say they kill me, they're going to kill me. They laughing because I'm afraid, because I'm scared. So they make noise when mommy is not here. So, likely I was able to find out they didn't abuse her, physically. It was like a mind games here. Unfortunately, this, I understand that the one of the brother, probably both of them, they was jealous of her because she was the little one. The little princess, there was two boys, only one girl, and she was the last, and they probably was jealous of probably the attention of her mother. Okay, so, and then she to shut herself down every day, to find difficult to speak in front of her class mates and the teacher, and probably somebody say something, and it getting worse and worse and worse. And the confidence was really.
It would just become her natural expectational program.
Yeah, so I bring her like in a sort of Alice in the Wonderland, where she can understand her superpowers, and where I teach her how she can protect herself in energy management for kids, for children. And then she was able to forgive the brothers, because she says, I hate them, I dislike them because they ate me, so I don't want them around me. When the mother, she left with them, she had like crisis. I told the mother, did you notice this? For you it's not a big deal, but for her, remember, a child, you become what are you?
Don't we?
Yeah.
They probably don't even realize it wouldn't even occur to them that they were being cruel.
He says, they can be cheeky, but it's okay, it's not a big deal. And everything we become in adult life is because of a childhood. And even a simple thing for us is like, it's not a big deal. It's like huge impact in our life, in true emotions that can
My
be.
my brother said to me, because he played the piano, which was just amazing. I love that because as a singer and I played flute and cello, so you could play with the piano. And I didn't play the piano. So he was like the main important instrument. And so he held the power as well. And he said to me that my rhythm was rubbish. Okay. So, of course, for years, I believed that. And when I started writing songs, I would devise all these tests for myself to make sure I wasn't being repetitive in my melody, or make sure I'd got my rhythm right. And I'm really good at rhythm now. And I probably always was. It was just his programming having to keep me down. But it came, it took me decades to realize. But because I had to work against it, I became really good at what I did. So sometimes it's just like you said, when you have the car accident and you find the love of your life in the nurse, or you miss this amazing job opportunity and it turns out there's something better. It's interesting, isn't it? See what the ping back at this experience of this little girl will be.
Yeah, I mean, now the mother, she told me that she basically, she did well in the exams. She has a better relationship with the brothers because energetically something changed. Yes, the relationship with their brothers is better, and because I make sure that we work telepathically and energetically. It's so powerful, you guys. You can't believe how a session can change completely not only your life in better, because you can shift problems, you can see the changes of people around you, the way they react, because you change, they change. Regarding the child, like I said, it was an amazing experience. I did other sessions, regressions, esoteric regression with children, and they responded absolutely well. They're really, I love working with children because they're listening to you.
Yeah.
And
it's fast. If
they
put
fast,
it
super fast.
They almost want to prove how brilliant they are to you.
Yeah. But I said to her, I mean, it's like doing a game with each other, okay? We're going to go beyond it. And in our world, where you are basically the little princess or little prince, you're going to be your story. You can write down your story, and you can add anything you want, everything you like. So basically the girl, after the session, she become much more confident. The fear almost disappeared. It took a bit of time, because after a session, children or adults, they need time to metabolize. Yeah. The first result is the adrenaline. The fact you feel, you feel something is like, yeah, woo, it's like shifting. Honest, you feel like on the top of the moon. And then when gradually you come back in the normal level that you should be.
And there are your classmates again with the same old chat.
Yeah. Then you're starting to find, to realize that you're receiving messages, internal messages through the dreams, a song. You are more attentive to the click. Also, things that probably was a burden before, they're not there anymore. Okay, the effect of a word, to come back to the word wrong, had effect on you before. It does have a different effect.
Yeah.
So this word is not able to be a vampire with you, to take all your energy.
You down, you can pick it up and say, "Oh, that's an interesting, weird thing. That doesn't belong to me at all." Poof.
Exactly. Before, I remember I get upset easily myself because I was too sensitive. I amplify the things 10,000 times. But now it's like, why? I mean, I feel like, not really, because I know I don't want to lose my energy, and it doesn't give. Like I says, I don't want to even waste my time with people, situation, environments that I know they're not happy, they are intoxicated. Okay, but if these people or environment, they are willing to make a changes because finally something wakes up in them, welcome. I'm here to understand and to help you to understand, because I was intoxicated too in the past.
Well, that makes you such a brilliant helper, doesn't it? Because you know the alphabet. You've been to A and to Z and all in between, and therefore you can recognize it and help them. So
that's it. This is where, like I says, I find the confidence on me day by day. I've been helped, inspired me so much that I wanted to do the same things. I don't know if I mentioned to you, but finally I got my diploma of past life regression therapist, and I'm still building up, the business. But I already work, privately or through my videos on YouTube.
I know.
So this girl is a client.
That.
I work with a mother, and the mother, she was so inspired that I trust you, Efisia, please work with my daughter. And this girl, like I mentioned, just a short story, she was terrorized to speak in front of her class, terrorized to be alone in the home, in the house. And we find out when she was relaxed and she started to talk with me that the reason was because she was terrified by her brothers. They basically verbally, psychologically abuse her. Okay, they make jokes, they mock her, they make feel stupid. And I realized because there was two adult brothers, and she was a 10 years old girl, and the one of the eldest was 21 years old, the second 17. A big gap. Okay, I realized these guys are jealous of her, because usually brothers protect their little sisters. In this case, was a lot of competition in this house, and I realized that this girl, she needed to understand why the brothers.
The why. That's so empowering. The why.
Yeah, I didn't want to create let's say a division between them. Actually, she needed to, because she disliked them. She was terrified about them to be on her own.
We talk about compassion, don't we? But it's really
compassion. But she asked,
being able to see beyond, and when you know the why, you can see beyond
exactly.
their limiting programs. So yeah.
And she was wonderful. I told her, you have all the superpowers, because when we are, even when you dream, you do crazy stuff. If you close your now, you guys, you switch your eyes off. You imagine that in my hand now I have a torch, and I point the torch, I see light. This is what people see that is imagination. I said, no, this is real.
This is real.
You can put in reality, but also when you work with your spirit, the spirit is working, is really taking the torch and pointing where you can see. You can imagine how things we can do, and you can heal through the spirit.
I'm going to show you something. Just stay there for a sec. Okay. Because this is amusing, I think. So, hang on, let's see. Wait, can you see this basket?
Oh, wow, nice.
So I have prepared these for my little kids tomorrow. These are just driftwood sticks, which I've sanded the ends of so they're not dangerous. But that's so that they can be wizards and make a spell, because we're surrounded by other people spelling. So I want them to have this experience of what they say is and what they feel has weight and importance. So they're all going to be wizards with these very strange look.
Lovely.
So yeah, if we bring that mentality, which is what you've obviously...
Yeah, because they can see, in this piece of wood, they can see lizards, they can see snakes, or they can see fairies, or they can see, I don't know, anything, they can put colors.
Magic. In other words,
magic. And exactly. Like you put in your paintings, beautiful paintings. And yes, I mean, when she basically realized that she was magic, that she can create all these, beautiful things around her, she understood, and she was able even to forgive the brothers. And since our session, the brother changed completely with her.
And I bet she'll write an amazing story about it. You said she had that gift with storytelling.
She's amazing.
Story about
she's beautiful
characters and another little one, and she will metaphorically express that.
I told her you can write your beautiful books, and this is your first book of your life, sweetheart, about you. and you are always, it come from you, because you are a free spirit that travels in different dimensions. Trust yourself, protect yourself all the time, because sometimes we go in dark places where we don't know. And so this is why we have our protection, our bubble of protection, or our uniform that can protect us, the special, you know, what you call the astronauts
Oh, well, the
tooth
astronaut suits. Oh, I don't know. I'm
suit.
just thinking of suit of armor when you said that.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Yeah. So you can create anything you want as long that you're protected, because they try to take what is yours, because you are you're fantastic, you're beautiful. Everybody wants you because they can feed themselves and still, and she understood. And it's not because this is what I believe as an adult.
that is you.
Yeah,
That's why I like
exactly.
you. One of the reasons.
I mean, every person has to defend. And this is why we come back to the source of our chat. Stand by yourself. Be able to say, sorry, I disagree, or even not saying sorry, I disagree. And but I respect your opinion. Okay, I respect your unhappiness, basically. I respect your anger. I respect your suffering.
It's your choice.
Yeah, but I have to finish now here. I'm not interested. I'm busy. I have a call on the way. If you are more tactful, oh, sorry, but so I got an appointment. I have to go. That is, do you dismiss a person? A person can be devoured by their own demons, okay? Because the demons are angry because they could devour, they were able to devour the other person's energy. Because when they drag a person to the query, or to the argument, to the fight, they eat. That is basically is true. That I can say is true. Okay,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
work in this. I
It's
work
true.
with these things every day.
Yeah.
I work with Oksana. With our investigation, we see things that are unbelievable. People think sometimes we are, these crazy women. I think they take drugs.
When I grew up, they were
Mhm.
called Natsu, but that was from the spiritual group that my parents were in. So they called all these entities that were piggybacking on us Natsu. And there was this hilarious cartoonist who used to draw cartoons of them like attacking each other, or kind of coming out from behind someone and trying to suck at someone's energy. Yeah. We know
And,
it's there. We're starting
and, and this is it. I mean, in the future, I mean, for the people that are listening now, watching us, because you take this interesting topic about wrong, the word wrong. When people say you wrong, or people say you ugly, people say you are delusional. Anything that is made for offend you, to defeat you, they are words of like a war, with the guns. In this war, they hide the offense, to defeat you. Is like a thief
But that
behind.
whole wokeism system is designed to create more and more reasons and excuses to steal from you, because you could be wrong about this and 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 this, and it goes on, because you're offending all these people. Think, really? Poor old them.
Exactly. So this is why I always suggest to don't fall or to be dragged in their games, because this is what they want. Okay. This is what the system want, and they use the Muppets. Muppets is the society that is unhappy, enslaved, and unfortunately without motivation anymore. Because this world, many people, they want you to believe the world is still small and average, because everything now is digital, everything is virtual. Okay, so people, they're not even discovering, because they think, oh, I know. There's some magic place to discover, to experience, retreats, the nature, everything that we can still pour in our, I call the container of knowledge, because this body is a container that you can pour information and memories. And that is our database for a new life in a new dimension, or we want come back here. Okay, this is why, this is my opinion. People think I'm crazy. I believe is no, people says it's wrong, or you can become crazy if you remember your previous life. Are you joking? I said, why not? I mean, if you are a soul superior, okay, and a part of you remember things, but they don't know, they don't tell you what will be this life, okay, you says you, because you choose, remember you made the decision to have another experience, so you don't have the feeling, oh, I miss my previous family, I miss my previous girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or grandma. No, because there is something that you remember, that everything is okay, but you know still that you have ever experience here, because it's a exploring experience. But what they do is the system, and unfortunately, the entities that wait us like that when we die, when we leave the body, they wait for us to drag again us in a recycle. Okay.
That's another talk, because I feel that we're now getting that's like, it's going to open a whole new thing. I think we ought to bring it to an end soon. I just wanted to bring in your Alice in Wonderland example that you were briefly touching on when you took the little girl into her adventure, and the way that she could sort of create and all these different adventures. And it is a brilliant book, that one. Obviously it was written by people who knew things.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, but
the house of cards thing that she says in the end, you're nothing but a pack of cards, is her recognizing the illusions for what they are. And then she comes back into the world, and her sisters don't know that anything's happened. It's like that recycling story. There's so much in there. But
yeah, I mean, a child is when you basically you clean up a child with a lot of this dark energy that is already covered up, like a dress, yeah, like they put on top, plasters. She was able to unwrap herself and to finally to believe in her own power, in her own unlimited possibilities. Okay, and growing up, she's going to remember more and more and more. That's why I was talking about the connection when we're going to leave our body, or if we decide, because only us when we have to decide to come back in the planet.
Once you realize the card soldiers are just cards and not actual soldiers, that's it, isn't it? So even when you're at that point of transitioning from this life to either come back into this life again or to go somewhere else. I mean, I've come back a few times because I wanted to. It was all choice. I was like, no, I'm having another adventure. It's kind of it's that knowing where the power lies. It's in you, your choice.
I'm not sure if I accepted to come back because they dragged me, or because I was abducted, or because it was my decision. But I don't think it's the point anymore, okay? Because I need to understand why I'm still looking for answers. Okay,
well,
and probably
new answers every day, aren't you? I mean, that's
yeah, because this is my. I mean, I know that if I come back again, there will be another body, another. I will going to have another container that still I'm going to do these kind of things, because I think the something I can tell you is, for me, probably the experience of materialism, or to possession, or to be super loved, to inflame, stuff like that, is basically I don't need anymore. This is why I needed to experience probably from the bottom, okay? Because you're going to learn better. Because if you start from the bottom, it's much easier to go to the top to understand. It's like when you have to climb a mountain. You can't take a helicopter and go to the top. It's like,
you're not climbing a mountain, now you're just visiting the peak. You're just visiting it. You haven't
exactly.
had what a mountain is.
I decided probably to climb in the mountain. I will going to do whatever in other universes or dimensions, because when you climb, only when you see the roots of everything, matter, situation, like a mountain, then you understand what is in the top. If the top can still keep your weight, if you can still be balanced on the top.
Well, that's the heart of what we're talking about today, isn't it?
Yeah.
That how you can withstand the wrongness coming at you because you understand what your root is. You understand what you're made of, what you can tap into, the field of potential that is there for you, because that is what you are. It's once you start labeling yourself truly, isn't it?
This is why, guys, don't waste your time, your energy to argue with people that they try to make a fool of yourself or to mock you, because these people is like your level. You basically you are giving energy. You are descending from your level of energy down with them, because they're not. I mean, if they're happy, if they are already at such a level, they never offend you. They never want to argue. They never want to offend you or try to make you feel small or point the finger for anything. It's just to because they want you to say, yes, you're right. For them it's almost orgasmic, okay? It's the ego to prevail.
It's not even them, is it? Mostly it's the entities working through them that have just got them.
Yeah, of course. They give them what they like, yeah? If you like chocolate, they give you chocolates. They promise that this person can give you chocolate. So you have to take the chocolate from that person, okay? This is the game. So this person is the provider for me for anything that I'm subjected of weakness.
And this is the time we're in, isn't it? It's the recognition of what we are, what we can actually be and do, and how we operate in a system that is slowly dissolving, but the system was so broken, well, it's not even broken, it's carefully constructed, but so anti what we are, nothing to do with the true expansion of source. And it's starting to recognize that. It's like we're pushing through a dense jungle, and as we push gently, all of these restrictions and this meshwork that was draining from us, it just dissolves until we're in that beautiful free space. I mean, we're going to be pushing away these weird bits of paradigm and program for quite a bit, but that's where we are. And that's why I wanted these chats with people like you, who've got this knowledge and this power and bringing real information and tools. And I'm going to put all your details for your work, with all the work you do for both adults and for children.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Yes. So
visit your channel.
People, if they need any help in any way that they think, oh no, nobody can help me, even physical problem that they think is impossible, they don't never think is impossible. It's about you. If you really want, you can make. I think even one day, people that are, let's say, that have a very, very bad injuries, like they can't walk anymore, it's possible they can walk using the energy, treatments. So nothing is impossible. Everything's possible if the person is ready to heal. So thank you again for this nice chat. And yes, we can go to talk again very soon. Yeah.
It was a wonderful tea party.
Oh,
thanks.
yeah.
Oh, cheers. Cheers.
Okay. Cheers. Bang.
Oh, mwah.
Thank you.